Yo, what's up, everybody? GM. Hope you're doing all right. It is Thursday, November 21st, 1 week from Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble, motherfuckers. It is almost 100K Bitcoin. I think it's going to happen today. I don't know what you guys think. But man, oh man, did that happen quick. I did not expect the rip up to 98K overnight. I finally got some rest. You guys know I've been living the weird sleep life for the last several weeks, basically since the time change. I haven't slept well, up at like 3:30 every day, yada, yada, all that stuff. I was sick earlier this week, and now today I missed it. Well, I didn't miss anything, but like I was asleep finally until like 6 in the morning. So, but I did get a big trade in. I got a big trade in. Actually, no, I lied to you. I was awake at 4 in the morning, but I missed the big pump because I think it happened before there. We got to take a look at the charts. But GM, guys, hope you're feeling all right. Hope you're excited. Like, I think that we're getting close to like that really good feeling that everybody's going to have. Oh my God. I've been on mute the whole time.
Yep.
You guys got to fucking speak up. That'd be nice. Nice if you said something. Just saying.
There was no music or anything. We just thought you were literally not there.
Well, then I would start talking if I were you.
Oh boy. Oh, okay, you heard him. He said it. If we don't hear anything, we start talking. That's all true.
I mean, that would make the most sense. If there was some kind of audio issue, we wouldn't just sit like bozos on mute until something happened. That's what I would hope, at least. But I guess that's what happened. So my bad. My bad, G. My bad, fam. Hey, now you can hear me. You can hear me on the live stream. You can hear me on this. Well, the live stream could hear me. But now you guys can hear me on the space. Good morning. Good morning, GM. Smash the like, hit the heart, do the things that you guys got to do. 100K Bitcoin happening today. What do you guys think about that?
I think there's going to be a lot of people really happy and a lot of people that are really pissed.
Nah, man, the suspense made it better. Just sitting there waiting, like, where is he? And then boom.
Boom. Boom.
Yeah.
That's like those dudes.
Like I think either we get rejected or it goes, or it just rips through 100K.
No, Mike, I'm not going to allow. You're not allowed to do the typical fucking YouTuber bullshit where you try to play both sides. You got to pick one or the other. What's it going to do?
Oh, one or the other. I think we're gonna hit 99 and get rejected hard.
Yeah, I agree. There's no way that we push through. I think we give it a little smoochy. We give a little smoochy, a little peck on the cheek to 100K, and then we drop back down. Where we go down to, I don't know. Somebody has said 72K. You guys know that was like the high 70s was our number for quite some time, and then we just kept pushing. But remember, there's a saying: the harder they pump, the harder they fall. Right. And so we do have to collect our thoughts. We do have to regain our strength in numbers. Right. And so it would make sense to drop down to one of those critical levels where we would get a shitload of support. And that would be like a springboard bounce back up into like the 90s. But, I want to hear what you guys think about all this stuff, not just about me.
I was looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart on the shorter time frames, and it's starting to come down. So I don't know, maybe altcoin season will start pretty soon.
I think obviously, playing into what we were just talking about there, Bitcoin touching 100K, but then maybe getting rejected, coming back down to whatever, wherever level that it is that it will go to. But that would be a good indicator that, we could probably see some positive movement on altcoins. That would be nice. Although there are some things going. I think like ETH, let me take a look. ETH was like ripping like a motherfucker up to like 3,400 or something. It's 3,365 right now. So that thing is up pretty good today. A couple $100. Not bad for Ethereum.
Yeah, I've been watching XRP is forming a nice triangle. It's trying to get out on the 4-hour. Cardano again, that one's looking pretty good. It's broken out of the triangle and it's just kind of coming down, so maybe just a little bit of a pullback before it goes up again. Like there's a couple altcoins that have some nice patterns that may break to the upside as soon as we have confirmation that I think Bitcoin starts to go down and altcoins are going to have a chance to rip.
Yeah, you know, I've been playing the chart on Ondo. If you guys have been seeing my posts, I've been doing some pretty good winning, playing the morning, right? Like I'll usually get into the charts about 4:30, something like that. And the last couple days I have some pretty good trades on Ondo. Just kind of watching that thing bounce around like the low to mid 90s up towards a buck. I got out a little too early today, and that's fine. I would rather get out with a number you guys saw is like about $400. I got out. I mean, I probably would have made, I think, 1,300 if I stayed into like $1 wherever it is now. But at the end of the day, like, you know, it was time to get showered and get, you know, ready and go to come to the studio. And it's like, man, I've been in trades so many times. And this is why my new strategy is fucking working, because I'm pulling the profits when I'm happy with it. I'm not just letting it ride. And then all of a sudden it reverses on you, because that's what the markets do, man. They tend to reverse on you. 1 minute you're up and then the next minute you're down. And so, man, I'm taking my profits off the table. And basically the same strategy is what I do with the blackjack table. And that's why I'm really successful with blackjack, is that I just pull money. Like, I will always constantly throughout the game be asking the dealer to color me up, give me those $100 tokens, and I fucking throw that shit right in my pocket, right? Out of sight, out of mind. And then all of a sudden, you know, maybe you do get beat up, but you know, your stack gets dwindled and you're like, all right, man, I'm going to walk away. And you remember, oh shit, I got like 2 G's in my pocket because I kept sticking them in there. And then, you know, it's like that. It's what we're doing. I'm stacking up these small wins. You know, one of these days we'll hit the big home run, but watching that Ondo chart bounce from like the mid 90s to the buck range with a decent size, I'd say, you know, about $1,000 trade at like 20x leverage. I mean, it's to make like the $4,000 to $1,000 swings, man. It's been pretty consistent. So you got to just find the chart that works for you, find your strategy, and let that, and just stick to your strategy, guys. Just stick to it, please. That has been my saving grace this year. Trading is sticking to my strategies.
I think that's the smartest. I think that's the smartest recommendation that anybody could make out here. We've got people chasing candles all day long, and nobody's looking at it and say, listen, if I make a 20% profit, take my gains, or at least pull out your initial, and then see what happens. That way, you know, you make your money and you're not just folding your bags every single time looking for the moon.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know, what's like think about, like, what's your plan, right? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to like what are you trying to make a day? Like, what's your strategy? And so for me, like I've always said, like moving forward, it's like I'd like to make 200 to 300 minimum every single day doing my trading, right? And so that way, when I get up $4, $5, $6, $1,000 in a trade, bam, my day is done. Like, I've already met my goal. I don't have to trade anymore. I don't have to find that opportunity to get into a trade. We know what happens when you just go looking for those opportunities, is that you force them and then you end up getting wrecked, right? So it's been working out to play the early morning hours for me. I get in, get out. And then if I find something, or, you know, I might play another Ondo trade tonight. We'll see this thing come back down. If I see it come back down to like the 96-cent level, bro, I'm going to go back in on this thing. I will continue to play that until it's broken. And, you know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
No, it's just like that movie Rounders. You can either be the guy who goes in there looking for the $30,000 win, or you could be Kanish. You show up, you make your money, pay your rent, pay your bills, get your food, and you get out, and you're comfortable, instead of the stress of, okay, am I making $1 million today, or am I going home and trying to figure out what restaurant I'm washing dishes at? Solid plan.
You have to have the alligator blood always hanging around.
I was waiting for that from somebody.
Probably too many people too young to even watch the movie. They're like, what's that?
It was started streaming a couple weeks ago. Go watch it. It's awesome.
Pay the man his money. Jay, you might be on mute. I don't know if you're talking. We're just making sure there's no dead air.
Yeah. Either that, or there's some funkiness, because my space is showing that every single person's talking right now.
No, so I threw my mic on mute because they got the garbage truck right outside my office door, and that thing gets fucking loud. But I think he's done now. It's just like start banging, like, I don't know. It's like one of those bozo garbage men that it's with a big ass dumpster. He like slams it down a few times just for fun, just to get all the other bullshit out of it. I mean, it's a good thing. He actually empties the big ass dumpster. But I'll tell you what, this guy every week makes so much fucking noise.
Don't tell me you don't want to jump in the driver's seat and do it at least once.
Nah, not a garbage truck. One of my favorite jobs that I ever did in my entire life. You guys may know this about me. I was like a cowboy. I was the chuck wagon. That's how I got the job. I was a cook. I was the chef. This was like during my cooking days, right? I was like the chuck wagon cook. So I'd like go out to like this remote place where they would do these trail rides, and I would serve up steaks and fries and all sorts of shit, right? And so it started there, but then I learned how to ride horses from some of the other Wrangler girls there. And then I started doing all that stuff. And so I was like a cowboy for a while. But one of my favorite job, there was like, I want to say 150 to like 200 head of horse at the ranch, right? And one of my favorite things to do was go into the pen with a bobcat, scoop up all the horse shit, drop it into a dump truck, take the dump truck down some bumpy ass dusty road and drop it in a ditch that we had dug a hole. That would be like my daily thing. You throw in a big old chew, you get horse shit all over you. But it didn't matter. It's like, those were simple times, man. That's why, like, literally, if I could time travel, I would take my family and I'd go back to the cowboy days, because I think that's when times were great.
Just head out in the Midwest. There's some places you can still do that.
Well, I mean, yeah. Oh, you definitely do that out in like Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, parts of Texas, all that. But actually be in that time frame. So maybe, I could have like a wanted poster and not have to be like, in real life. You guys get what I'm saying.
Yeah. I can just imagine you running around with a little tin star and spurs, just keeping the peace.
Diarrhea everywhere because he's been drinking the water.
I do have spurs, just so you guys know.
He's going to be drinking booze with X's on the bottle. How many X's is it?
3. I'm a 3X kind of guy with my whiskey bottle.
Yeah, Jay's talking about a simpler time. Guys, you guys have no idea what the future is going to be like. There's going to be money on computers. It's going to be cool. Give me some more of this moonshine.
Yeah, dude, I'm going to blow all their minds. And then we'll pull out an iPhone one day. They'll be like, what?
That Midwest shine, you got to be careful.
No, dude, it's not that. We were down in, what was it? It's the, I stopped at some gas station. I think I was in Mississippi somewhere, and they have the Metro mugshot is like, I don't know, it was like this local paper where you can see all the crazy mugshots and what people got arrested for. And so we were like, this was several years ago before we had a family. So Whit and I, we were in the gas station. It was a holiday, so they also had liquor and all that kind of stuff in there. And we were looking at the moonshine. Because this was like our first trip from the South back up to Chicago to go see our family. And we're like, you know what, let's get some moonshine and bring it up there. That'd be fun to like do a little, party with the friends and do the moonshine thing. And so we were asking one of the ladies, and she was like, yeah, like get the stuff on the shelf. But like this crazy fucking hillbilly guy with like the weird twitch, definitely like a weird lazy eye, maybe 2 teeth, all that stuff. In his overalls, one thing unbuttoned, no shirt, big belly, all that kind of stuff. And he's like, man, if you want the real moonshine, you can come with me. And the lady at the register is like, if you want to go blind, you could go with that guy. So we ended up going with the commercially produced moonshine, and that was A-okay.
Yeah. That's everywhere out there. There's a couple of guys that when I was lived in Oklahoma, you drive down the road, it goes from 2 lanes to 1 lane to a dirt road to no road to a bunch of campers up on stilts in the woods by the river. And they come out with a bunch of clear glasses. And they say, yeah, 1 drink per day. That's it. It's that stuff will light you up.
Whew. I am.
Yeah.
No, thank you. No, thank you. Shout out.
So anyway.
Got a lot of activity over on the YouTube chat. Shout out to the YouTube chat, folks. Y'all are the real heroes over there. And if you guys, you can chat on X too, and I will see that. So you guys can put some messages in there. But shout out to you guys, GM, everybody. Got the crew in the house. Let's get it. What were you gonna say?
Hey, everybody, grab that. Oh, I was gonna say, everybody, hit that purple button, hit that share, get all your buddies and friends in here. We're talking about Bitcoin, 100K. Let's get it up there and get everybody in here who's looking at these meme coins, shit coins, every other silly coin you can think of. Get them all in here. Let's figure out what's going where. Let's have a good time.
So what do you think? All right, so we are 12 minutes away from the opening bell. Bitcoin's sitting at 97,582. It has retraced. Obviously, we hit our new all-time high of 98,396 is what I'm showing here on Femex that happened earlier this morning. So with that being said, we have retraced a little bit. We can get a little, I'll pull a number here for you guys. See, what is that retrace? We are down about 1%, so not bad. So really easy to get that back. Obviously, you got to double it to go back up. But so do you think that we are going to see Wall Street push this thing to 100K when the bell rings at 9:30? Man, we're about 10 minutes away now, and things are rumbling. Talk to me, Goose. What do we think?
I'll get a 50-50 shot by 10 o'clock.
Oh, no.
I think today we're going to do it.
Nobody's allowed to take the safe route ever again. You got to make a fucking choice, one way or the other. No 50-50s.
I say yes by 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm going to say yes, we're going to do it. I don't know about the time, but this is my theory. We're sitting around at 9:19 being like, do we think it's going to happen? Blah, blah. We'll just consider ourselves the average people in crypto. There are people who have way bigger bank accounts than us doing this exact same thing right now. But being like, yo, should we do it? Like, should we do it? I'll put in a 10 grand buy. The other guys, like, people have that kind of money where it's like, where were you the day that it hit 100 grand? And there are people with big bank accounts who might want to play that game today. And then we could crash right back down. But like, that's just my like other side of like the psychological aspect of it.
So it was crazy. Like yesterday afternoon, when we broke 95,000 on Femex, it literally went to the dollar 95,000. So if you don't think this shit is programmed, y'all are fucking crazy. So I believe that we are going to see like 99,995 or like $97.90. It's going to do some fucking stupid thing like that where it's going to get just about there. And then that's it. And then they're going to say good night. And then they will bring it back down and then we'll range for a while. And there's no way we could punch over 100 right now. It's too early now. One thing we do have to talk about and mention is that bull runs are irrational and they tend to do things that don't make sense. And so punching through 100K right now wouldn't make sense. So it's not off the table, highly unlikely from where I'm seeing this right now, but I don't know.
Well, another thing to think about is I just looked just to see what's going on with other spaces. Wolf Financial's got a space talking about exactly this. Mario Nawfal's got a space running right now talking about this. Us, of course. So there's a ton of spaces talking about this exact topic.
So safe to assume that if everybody's expecting it to hit 100K, it is not. So I think that we can answer our question right now. If everybody's expecting it, it's not happening because the market does what you least expect. Or the opposite of what you expect, especially when the group think goes one way.
Unless Jim Cramer puts out a tweet saying we're going to 100K.
This is true. That's the reverse Cramer, guys. If you don't know the reverse
Very
Cramer.
True. We didn't think about that. Can someone check his page real quick and let us know if he has or has not tweeted that?
Kramer said Bitcoin's going to 50K. That means we win. No, he didn't say that. I'm just kidding. He did not say that. We could check though. He tweets, right?
Or if he doesn't, someone's got a parody account for sure, posting out his stupid takes.
Let's see. 37 minutes ago, he was talking about NVIDIA. An hour goes NVIDIA. It's all NVIDIA for him today, right now.
Oh. Time to open some shorts on that then.
Yeah.
Yep. Nothing about crypto from this guy.
Well, it looks like we're going to be poor for at least another day then. This guy's like he's like the beaver or whatever, the hedgehog.
As long as he doesn't say anything, man, if he doesn't touch it, we may be good. You know what I mean? You feel me? We may be.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
But the time is drawing near, boys and girls. Is that we've got I'm going to pull open the Bitcoin chart just so that we can watch this thing in real time as it happens. So as you guys know, at 9:30 a.m. here in the U.S., as most of us are here in the U.S., is when the stock market opens up. And I think we've seen huge numbers within the last few weeks. Not every day, but some days, especially when there's a lot of activity. See a big push at 9:30, so we're just a few minutes away. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when the bell rings. But I love the speculation. I love the idea of, you know, how close are we going to get? What's your number? What's everybody's pick for how close do we actually get to 100 before we get rejected? Mr. Dude.
101,000.
What's that?
101,000, Bob.
Oh, so you think we're going to go up and we're going to punch through and then come back down? A little let's
So I think like the buys will go in, which will push it over, but then you'll also get that like panic, like I need to sell first. And then we drop it.
It's such a huge psychological level for so many people, though, isn't it?
It's crazy to think. Remember, we've had people saying, and we've talked about this, that like when Bitcoin was down in like the 20s and 30s, what was the strategy? When Bitcoin gets to 100K, we start pulling profits. God damn, it's early in the bull run. Or to start pulling profits now? But you got to stick to your strategy, right? Or does everybody's strategy go out the window because you're like, fuck it, dude, we came here way too quick. I'm not tapping out yet.
Yeah,
my strategy is
let's go, Doug, and then Mike.
All right, both of you are in the shower there.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, but I don't think I can actually hear Mike. Yeah, I'll just do real quick, and I'll actually jump down because I'm driving. But yeah, no, in 2021, I remember the exact same thing being said again and again. Like, you know, we've got to raise our targets. You know, we're silly if we don't. And most of us got burnt, didn't we? So, I mean, strategy, stick to it, I think is great. And, you know, keep some fingers in the pie, but, you know, yeah, play it safe.
Are we getting jobs report today? Here we go. U.S. weekly jobless claims unexpectedly fell. But the problem is nobody fucking believes any of this shit anyways. We know that they make stuff up. Why is the camera?
So China was made it legal to hold Bitcoin. So I wonder if last night, like if China was buying.
Oh, if China opened up that market, all bets are off.
Yeah, that's like the news that we see right now. It's like the China made it legal according to China Supreme Court. I'll see if I can find the article.
Sorry, I was just fixing my camera. The camera went out. I mean, I don't know what's going on. A little glitchy.
The super cycle has begun. That's all that matters. And I guess like selfishly for us who, like, unless you hold a ton of Bitcoin or you're trading it, like Bitcoin dominance going away is kind of great for all of the other coins that we want to see run and make money. So fuck it. Let's fucking roll, people.
Yeah, we definitely need dominance to come down. Let's go to CoinMarketCap and see what it says. I feel like it's usually the highest on there. So 59.6%. So we're dropping a little bit. It was at 60 yesterday. Definitely want to see that come down. ETH's gone up. It was like 11.4. It's up to 12.5 today. So, hey, it's really interesting with Bitcoin touching, getting dangerously close to 100K. We're starting to see the dominance slip down just a little bit.
Maybe that's the play, though, isn't it? Like, you know, BTC, 100K, take profits, roll them over.
Shout out to Mike Lowry. Look at this. It was hard, but I did take profits from Bitcoin at 90K, and I'm supposed to take more at 100K. Listen, you stick to your strategy, you can't win, right? You buy when it's low, you sell when it's high, and you're in the profit. And so, hey, good shout out to you, man. That's the way to do it. There is no shame in the game. We don't know where this is going to go, and if you do take your profits at 90 and 100, and it does slap them back down to 70, and you're better than the people that didn't, right? Because now you got more buying power. And that's the way to do it. We know a correction is coming, guys. We know, and it's coming soon. It happens like every time. Every time. 90% of the time. Or what is it? What's that quote? 80% of the time it works 100% of the time?
60% of the time, it works every time.
All right. Well, you know, it's I see Matthew up here. Matthew, I'd like to hear your opinion on where things are going. Are we going to actually hit 100K today? Are we going to get dangerously close to it? Hash, you too. I don't know why you keep flirting with the speaker panel and then dropping back down, but quit doing that shit. Come on up here. Corey, we haven't heard from you in a while. What do you guys think? Y'all have been part of this show and community for a while. We're getting close to a fucking 100K Bitcoin. Come and talk about it. That's why we do the fucking space in the first place.
Hash is coming up here to tell us something in a grumpy mood. So come on up, Hash. Ruin our day.
No, lay it on us. Some of us.
Matthew, give us your nice logical answer. And tell us how your business is going.
The fund is great, but I'm trying to find a bank brokerage that'll let me buy put options on the ETF. Got a hedge.
Where do you think Bitcoin's going? Do you think we're going to punch to 100K today? Do you think we're going to get close and then drop?
I think you'll probably see it like when the market typically like opens. There's a ton of volatility that comes in. I think this Michael Saylor stuff is going to be like pretty buoyant too. So the opening bell happens here in like a minute. I think within an hour you might get to 100K. There seems to be some good volume after it, like good buying volume after it. But I think you're going to see a lot of people taking profits. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
It is going to be
right, because this isn't just like, ooh, Bitcoin's at 93K, like, ooh, it's another all-time high. This is like the all-time high that people have been chasing for years now.
I mean,
yeah, it's until it gets to a million or like, you know, it's just another zero until the next zero. I think that.
What do you think that becomes the next psychological level? Because we know this 100K, like you were just saying, Mr. Dude. So the 100K has been one of those levels, that the coveted level for years, right? Now we get through it. Is it okay? Nobody fucking cares until it's $1 million coin now. Is it
the only psychological level that mattered for Bitcoin was $1. Everything else is just like psychological speculation, but $1 was the thing that changed this forever. Being able to get over that hump, I think, was the one psychological barrier that really mattered.
I like that. That's an interesting way to think of it. I see Andrew coming up on here. Hey, or actually, the speaker panel full. Andrew, we'll rotate some people around here in just a second. We'll bring you back up here, man. Good to see you here. Hash, what's up, my guy? Talk to us.
What's up, Chains? Thanks, Elon, for the amazing Twitter Spaces experience. I think I might have to become one of your YouTube followers, because they get way more praise from you. And also, I don't imagine that their app crashes 12 times during the stream. So I might have to transition to YouTube. Shout out to the YouTubers. Yeah, I'm here to, be that guy. We're going to 150. What are you talking about? 100,000? Yeah, that's ridiculous. We're going to touch 150 today. I'm going to Polymarket right now. I hear they're selling dollars for 49 cents. At least a couple days ago, you could have made a bet. Is Bitcoin going to hit 100,000 by the end of the year? I think you could have got, I think it was 49 cents. So they're selling dollars for 50% off on Polymarket. If you really believe Bitcoin's going to hit 100,000, go put your fucking money where your mouth is. Or don't. I mean, hey, protect your capital. That's the first rule. As far as keeping your strategy goes, I understand the desire to adjust targets. I really do. But if you've been here since 20,000, you know better than that, in my opinion. And you should stick to your strategy. If it worked for you before, or when you put the strategy together, it made sense, why does it not make sense now? Yes, we're euphoria. Yes, we're all-time high after all-time high. A correction will happen. I remember this last year. I was like, oh, correction's going to happen. It never did happen. I was never upset with that because I continued on with my strategy. And now here I am a year later, about to hit where I am about to take profits on certain coins. Bitcoin, maybe at 100,000, I'll take a little cheese. But like you were saying earlier, I do think a correction is going to come. And despite the $1 being the only important psychological level that we ever passed on Bitcoin, I mean, these normies, you know what I mean? These fucking normies out here, 100,000 Bitcoin, if they see it, which is the other thing, like, I don't think we're getting the press that we really should be getting for 100,000 Bitcoin. Imagine if we had 100,000 in 2021. Do you remember how that was at the end of 2021, where everyone's like, holy shit, we're going to do it. And then we didn't. But everybody was like really hyped up. Now everybody's like, another all-time high. So if people are paying attention, and I mean, again, your retail investors, your people who are not on these streets every day looking at the charts, I think they'll pull profits. I just don't know if they'll have the opportunity to see it at 100,000 plus before we trace back down. But I mean, J-Chains, we've been talking about tracing back down for 2 weeks now, 3 weeks almost, and we just haven't. So,
well, it's because remember, the market is irrational and it does the opposite of what it should be doing. We should have already gone back down there. Remember, this is my analogy of we're living on a house of stilts, right? We have no volume to support where we're at, no volume to support this $100,000 level at all, right? And so we need to come down. It is healthy. It is healthy. And I don't know why people thought that I was a bear. Or I was feeling very bearish. Like, no, I'm just real. Like, we know it's going to happen. It's just now it's going to fucking happen when we least expect it, right? And so we were expecting it before. And so now it's probably going to happen. Euphoria, like, oh shit, 100K. What happened? It's going to be one of those kind of things where, boom, the lights turn off and nobody was expecting it to happen except for a very few people who are prepared. And then look, like we're dipping right now, dipping dots.
But James, I and anybody else, I did want to get your opinion on this, like, lack of timeline excitement. I know that there's spaces where people are talking about Bitcoin to 100,000, but like when I look at the timeline, people are like, oh, woe is me. Everything's so bad. Is it that they didn't rotate their meme coin bags into like crypto?
Yes.
Or is it just that we're desensitized? Like, what's going on that people just aren't excited?
No, I think, and I would love to hear anybody else's take on this, is that I think people have de-leveraged themselves of all of their Bitcoin, most people, right? This is generally speaking, for meme coins and other things that were not Bitcoin. And so you've got a handful of people, the maximalists for sure, a lot of the loyalists, some people who do still hold the Bitcoin, that are going to end up winning because they have got the Bitcoin and everybody else sold out to make the bag on the meme coins, right? Generally speaking, that is. That's where I'm at. All right. I see we got some hands. Let's go Foley. Let's go Frank, and then we'll go Postmaster.
Yeah, my take on it is a little bit different from my own perspective. I have a decent amount of money, of real world money. I'm pretty crypto poor, other than my MetaVixen holdings, which you guys always tease me about. But I think the lack of euphoria is like missing out on it. To be perfectly honest, I was sitting here looking at my 401k, saying, why don't I liquidate 35K? Why don't I just liquidate and buy 2.5 Bitcoin, right? And why don't I finally tell my mom and dad that it's time to get in? And so missing that whole wave, I think now that it's up, it's like, yeah, I have bags everywhere else, and I think I'm well positioned. I'm holding a bunch of the Ethereum ETF in my E-Trade account, and so I'm hoping it goes to 100, because I think if it does, it's going to burst, and I'm going to flip it at that point. So I think the euphoria is a little bit of depression, but for a lot of people who just didn't have the resolve, I guess. That's my take.
There you go. There you go. Like
That's a
that.
good take.
Frank. What's up, my G?
Hey, good morning, God. Jesus Christ, my hand was tied. Shit.
Well, I'm glad you had a pit stand from the merch shop. That should have helped you.
Good morning, good morning.
What's up, brother?
Man, did I hear you cussing out our listeners a second ago because they didn't want to come up here and give you their opinion on 100,000 Bitcoin?
No.
Yeah, it was me, and I've already forgiven him.
Jesus.
Hey, sometimes,
Right, and then he comes in here and starts trying to fight his listeners. Y'all see this shit?
Hey, it's in fight mode, man. You got to get used to it.
Let's go to YouTube. Let's get out of this Twitter shit.
Yeah. Shut it down.
I just wanted to make sure I heard you correctly. I was like, is J-Chains in there cussing people out for what? What's happening here?
Well, I wasn't cussing people out. I just, Like everybody, the community knows it's a community show. This is like a momentary day. It's a big moment in our crypto industry. We're just going to sit on your hands and quiet in your room or wherever you are. What the fuck? Come on up here and chat with us like you always do. That's all. Just just not as friendly. Well, see, the thing is, like, I'm getting close to my fight, so like I got to start getting from like the the agreeable guy that you guys know to the guy that's got to get into a ring and beat the shit out of somebody so I can get a fucking belt. That's the guy that I got to be.
Damn right. You definitely need to be that guy because we can't afford to lose another fight.
I know. You're telling me, brother, like that would be absolutely bad. Now, the good thing is that it's not another MMA fight. So if it would be whatever. We're not speaking that into the fucking world. I'm coming home with the dub. So let's go.
Damn right. You're coming home with the dub. And, Bitcoin's going over 100,000. And I'm only saying that just to spite you.
Good. I like it. This could be this could be a nice little entry for you guys for your longs to long your longs because we know we're going back up. My God, like I love this Ondo down to 99 cents. You guys know me. If this thing comes back down to so my target, I've got my zone between 97.20, so 97 cents, and 95, just below 96 cents, 95.9. Like I've got a zone there. That's my buy zone, and I'm going in and I'm going heavy on the Ondo because when that thing bounces back up and goes to $1.10, baby, we are living. Postmaster, what's up, my dude?
GM, what is up? Chains.
Yo, how we feeling?
Feeling great, brother. Feeling great. Loving the direction of the market. Hate to say I told you so, but hey, I told you so. We're probably popping in a next psychological range around 112,000. If we're a little bit low, I'm going to say that it shows me a little bit of a weakening of the bull cycle. Maybe 150K is going to be our top. But if we pop above 112, hit like 114, 116, something like that, would be an incredible sign that we're going to go way higher. And the next Fibonacci level is like 159, 163, something like that. So I think we're just gonna keep blowing heads, making news after news after news. Now's the time to start getting excited. I know maybe you're not quite excited yet. You're a little bit of disbelief. Disbelief comes right before excitement. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why we're all feeling that way. It's all on the psychological chart. If you guys pay attention to the emotional cycle of a market term. We definitely are in a little bit of disbelief, and we're gonna blow through that and turn it into excitement here, probably with a good 20% gain. I don't think it's gonna happen today per se, but probably by the end of the weekend we'll see 112,000, and it'll be a few months before we see under 100K Bitcoin again.
There it is. I love the take. Thank you, sir. Let's go, Andrew. And then we'll go KT, and then swing it on over to Gringo. What's up, Andrew, man? Good to hear from you.
Yeah, good to be back in the chat. I just want you to know that because you were talking shit to everybody here, that's what got me to raise my hand.
Good.
So I haven't been here for much because the show moved to the earlier time, which is like my first 8 a.m. hour of work here. But with all the price action going on, like I'm kind of chilling at work. I don't really... I'm not too concerned about being caught sitting in my office talking on Twitter. Nice. I'll put my...
That's right. You better watch your mouth, boss. It's about to hit 100K.
That's right. My boss is out of the office this week anyways, but I am... with this price, you do start feeling a little more mouthy at work when you're like, yeah, you could fire me. I'll be fine. Yeah, my prediction, Bitcoin 100K today. I'll stick with that. And I was surprised. I woke up this morning, like on crypto.com, I saw it sitting at like almost 99,000. So I guess the only other thing I came up to say is I've been wondering if retail is going to show up back in the same way that they used to. And I'm wondering if this 100K level is going to like push retail in, or if they even matter at this point. Because now that the institutions are in, like they have way more money than the retail does anyways. So like, I don't know. Does it even matter at this point? Am I still going to have a bunch of friends messaging me saying if they should get in now that they saw it hit 100,000? I definitely feel like we're going to see the news make a big deal out of it when it does officially hit that number.
I think the friends are going to be asking you what meme coins now to buy.
Jesus,
so get ready. Get the list ready, boys.
I mean, that's where the money is going to be made, and there will be some more activity, I think, in that whole meme coin world, especially as we go on. And I think it's probably, man, what do you guys think about this bouncing back? Like, as we do, you got to think at some point, we're gonna hit a ceiling, and then we're gonna come back down, and we're gonna range for a while, and maybe that's like we start flip-flopping it, and it's not so much altcoin season anymore. Meme coins kind of get blended into that, so it's just, we kind of switch back from, where's the activity, who's ranging, and where does the activity and the money go? Like, does it bounce between Bitcoin, alts, memes?
That was exactly the question I was going to ask. That's why I put my hand up. With those people that are taking profits, who held on or got in at the right time and pulled out a little bit, where do we think it's going to go? Into these random chill guy coins and all this other shenanigans, or go back into something that's been tried and true?
Smart money.
I don't know personally.
Smart money.
I'm looking at.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I'll say I got some friends who are looking at Sweet Chain and some of the stuff they're doing, but I don't know. I'm just curious.
Well, smart money is going to be putting their money, the profits, into. At some point, you will put it into things that matter and will benefit the ecosystem and all of that. And I get there are drivers for all of these things and opinions for all of which, you can make a case for all of it. But the people who have smart money are going to put that into the higher cap coins, the ones that are building, the one where, that they're building things that are going to actually facilitate blockchain versus just degens. If that makes sense.
That makes perfect sense. And so maybe that's an entire conversation for another show, but who out there is doing the work? Where are what are we thinking about for other projects who have tokenized themselves that are building the tools or building the infrastructure that is going to support the next big move?
Great question. Anybody have an answer?
Yeah, I want to jump in on that. Yeah. Well, I don't know if I have an answer, but we talked a bit about it yesterday around Polygon. I actually spent a lot of time this morning reading through their website, and it just reads like an engineering document. And they're doing some really, really, really cool fucking shit, but they need to figure out how to talk about it. So to me, they're a great long-term bet, but it's risky. If they can't figure out how to articulate what they do, it's going to be like TiVo, right? Like TiVo was one of the best products ever made. Nobody ever bought it because they didn't know how to sell it. And so I think Polygon's doing that. And so I keep stashing money there, like I said yesterday. But they need to find a new marketing angle.
Boom.
Well, that's a whole different subject right there.
Yeah,
most people don't think about marketing until it's too late, and then it's too late.
Yeah, that is like crypto projects. They could definitely use a little lesson in marketing, and it has forever been that way. You got to look back to the ICO things back from 2017, 2018, where you saw these projects make $100 million, and they spent not a dime of it on marketing. Their marketing was for them to go buy a Lambo or a yacht. That's how those guys did their marketing. Look what you can do.
So in my professional life, I share this with everyone. If you have 15 minutes and you want to sell things, go, and if you haven't listened to this before, go to YouTube, type in Simon Sinek, and type in The Power of Why. And it's the real reason behind buying decisions. And it is the most simple concept in the whole world. I could talk about it for hours. I love it. But just go do that. 15 minutes, be one of the best investments you've ever made. So I'll try to find it, post it up top. But it was life-changing for me, because it's like everybody talks about what they can do and how they do it and how fucking cool it is and how complicated, and we just created this new thing. And like I was reading the Polygon site this morning and I read a whole sentence and I'm like, I don't know what that fucking means. It sounds awesome, but I'd have to like go research each word individually to figure it out, right? And it's just not going to sell to people. So you start with why you're doing it and what your ultimate purpose is, and then you start with like how it's going to benefit people, and then you talk about what it is, because at that point they don't even care what it is. It's like, do you care how the chef in the back of the restaurant makes your stuff? No, you just want his hands to be clean, and you want to know his resume, right? All you want to know is like, how much is it going to cost, and am I going to fucking love to eat it at the end of the day, right? You don't need to know all the inner workings of it. Just give it to me. So I'll go look it up, post it up top.
Cool, awesome, man.
I second everything he just said.
Hey, like that. Let's go Gringo, and then my guy William Murata.
Yeah. Good morning, friends. Yeah, I was gonna say, just I don't think anyone's thinking this other theory through here. What's going on Bitcoin right now, and it's starting to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight, but it's starting to happen. Runes are taking off because of the whole meme coin thing, and Runes finally passed BRC20 as the fungible token standard on Bitcoin. So a lot of money is not necessarily going to leave Bitcoin, I think, like people are thinking. Especially now, you see the big auction houses are involved with ordinals, like Sotheby's and Christie's. The fine art world, like they have money. They want to keep it in Bitcoin. Yes, they'll take profits, but during the whole bear market, an entire layer of culture was built on top of Bitcoin. And now we're literally about to enter the age of Bitcoin DeFi and Web3 and even gaming. So I'm not saying when, but it's going to be where money's just not going to leave Bitcoin because like, look at it. I mean, like other chains went the same way during the last bull, like Ethereum, like money stayed on there and went into NFTs. I think that'll happen with Bitcoin. But with Bitcoin, it's completely different. That is the ultimate if you can pull that off. But oh yeah, one last thing. My price prediction for the next psychological level could be Degen, which would be $142,069. That's it.
I love that.
That's awesome.
It's gonna happen. It's like, listen, I know it's a meme, but it's gonna happen. So get ready for it. What's up, Marauder? What's up, brother?
Will.
Dude,
Yeah,
thank you so much. I am. Yeah, he's my support group. He does that every time. It's great. But
I'm not a KOL. I'm a Will KOL. I just shout out what Will's doing, and I'm sure it's great stuff.
So you just
you're doing great stuff too, Matthew.
The Will fan club X account.
Yeah, that's what Matthew's account is now. I was gonna say, first off, thank you so much for having me up, dude. The show is incredible. I was actually eating breakfast, listening to Web3 Breakfast, so that was pretty fantastic.
Love it.
But no, I love the talk here. My thoughts personally on it are like, in terms of like what you should be doing with your portfolio, it just really depends on your goals, like your investment goals, right? So like, are you trying to preserve your wealth? Cool, then hold more Bitcoin. Are you trying to trade these meme coins or like, go down the risk curve and try to make a bunch of money really quickly? Then find some really low cap stuff and, dedicate some of your portfolio to that. But in my mind, especially at the height of the bull run, when we get to it, I'm just going to be rotating a lot of my profits into Bitcoin, because I don't see why you would ever sell an asset that's going to be a global reserve currency, for like the world. Right. So in my mind, it's like I might trade Solana, I might trade Ethereum, I might trade Avalanche, but all those profits are going to be rolled into Bitcoin at some point. And maybe some dividend funds, and maybe some staking too, just to try to build some passive income as well on the side of Bitcoin. But I'm just going to hold my Bitcoin forever, bro.
Why not stake? I was going to say, why not stake your Bitcoin on Bitcoin now with Bitcoin DeFi and earn yield? That's what I think people are going to do. It's because
let me ask
you can leave your money in
you have to
Bitcoin's
give
network.
somebody else the custody when you do that.
Well, of course, and that's the danger of it, of course. But
I do not advocate for that at all. Not your keys, not your cheese. No, thank you.
Tell that to the people. Tell that to the people who've got $5 million on a ledger who are looking for a way that they can like store that stuff in their house and not be a target. Like I am with you, not your keys, not your crypto, but we are getting to a point now where TradFi needs to be able to help people be their own bank. People with a shit ton of money do not want to be their own bank. And I hear that every day. Please, please, please just help me
They're
store
like
this
burying
shit.
ledgers in their backyard, like in a
Yeah.
safe, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like for the average person, it's great.
Did you hear the CEO of
go-
WonderFi got kidnapped right in Toronto, like broad daylight?
What?
Yeah, so I think it was the CEO of WonderFi was basically like kidnapped in broad daylight in Toronto, and they found him later in a park. They were trying to get Bitcoin from him.
Damn.
That's crazy, bro.
Stay safe. That's why I keep my ledger in my asshole, like Do Kwon did. You know, just in case.
That's why I live in Florida and I'm strapped, bro, all the time.
Yeah, me too. The booty bank and the glove. You know,
practicing your Kegels to keep it up there.
Did you get a?
Will's gonna get extra.
Did you get? You got
Will's
a?
gonna get extra points for walking around.
A Glock branded butt plug for your ledger.
Yes. Yeah,
I was gonna. Will gets more Silencio points for carrying strapped Silencio than unstrapped Silencio.
No, I shoot my gun in my microphone too to make it loud, like to raise the decibels.
It's like, I need a few extra coins.
Let me poop it out. I'm gonna shit it out. Oh yeah, but I was gonna say on a serious note, though, think about it, like the fine art world. What do the wealthy already do? They use they use physical free ports. They buy fine art. It's stored at that facility, secured heavily. The same thing's going to happen digitally with Bitcoin collectibles, for example. That's why Sotheby's and Christie's are already in it. You can buy $1 million ordinal, let's say. You could get the tax harvesting or tax write-off benefits, completely evade taxes, basically. Bitcoin will become a digital free port, is in my opinion. But
so one thing real quick, you were talking about the regular folks trying to be their own bank. I've got some friends who follow Dave Ramsey. That's his whole thing. Earn your bags in fiat to the point where you don't need anybody else's money. It's going to be real interesting to see how all those folks who are like, I got tons of money, I've been saving up for 10, 20 years, I got $1 million in the bank. And then they say, oh, wait a minute, here's crypto. He's got millions of followers who are sitting on all this money. I'm really curious to see what those folks do when they realize that they can be their own bank and they don't have to deal with the actual banks to do it.
He's trained them to be scared of investing in anything other than mutual funds. So unfortunately,
also true.
So
yeah, I mean, I love Dave. I love him for budgeting and like life advice, but investing advice, that's not his forte. That's for sure.
So what do you guys think is going to be the best? You talk about people don't want to be their own banks. So what's the solution? Like the whole point is to be your own bank. The whole point is to not have somebody custody your money. The point is to not have to worry about that kind of stuff. And so like at what point do we put the onus back on the person and be like, well, then
no one wants that responsibility, Jay. No one wants that responsibility. Come on, dude. Everyone wants less responsibility.
Well, that's
one of the problems
with our fucking society is people are fucking lazy.
Well, so that's fine, and they don't read. But to your point, Jay, like, can you envision a world where banks act as banks and they are regulated by the United States and tell you whether or not you can spend your money on things or report certain things or whatever? That's a bank. Now let's talk about a custodian who is insured and qualified for other assets. So you could roll your IRA in there, you could roll a bunch of other assets in there or structures in there to help you do that, to help people get access to this ecosystem or meet people where they are or institutions where they are, and being able to do that with a tri-party agreement. So you need at least 2 out of 3 people to make any sort of change. Okay. And it helps people set up for wealth management. Like if you get hit by a bus, is anybody going to be able to know your passwords or your setup so that you can pass it down to your wife and daughter? And that's something that's really important for people who are planning for the long term or setting it up in trusts and all these kinds of things. So you need like this custodian to help you do that. And it's not necessarily bad. You pay a small fee every month, but like I'm like a product of this. We had all of our money from the fund in significant amount of money in the fund, like sitting in my safe that is like you could pick up and carry it away with you if you wanted to. And we had it in 2 separate places. So you know, that's like the Winklevoss twins had. But now I've got this in custody, and I've got people actually actively looking after this for me. And they're never telling me, oh, you can't do this or you can't do that. You can't spend it on this or you can't do that, which is kind of the concern about the banks. And so these custodians operate in like a non-financial institution way, but they are also insured. So now if anything happens, you're insured in this case with Anchorage up to $100 million in that vault. So you can be made whole if anything does happen too.
Note to self, Rob Matthew.
Note to self, Matthew has nothing, and Matthew has $0. He has all of his Bitcoin in his golf clubs.
Perfect.
Hey, what are you doing this weekend, Matthew? You want to go play some golf?
My wife just calls it Bitcoin. She doesn't even. I don't
That's
know.
actually
I want to play golf.
hilarious.
Back in like the 2018 era, on crypto Twitter, it was commonly referred to as Bitcoin. You guys remember that? If anybody around for a while remember Bitcoin?
I still own some Bitcoin, bro.
Hell yeah. I mean, there was podcasts. The Bitcoin. Let's. I see we got some hands. My gosh, I don't know whose hand was up first. I would like you guys to.
I think Hash was up.
Hash.
Oh, thanks, William. Good to see you. Also, great new profile picture. You're looking very suave
dapper
today.
He's a married man.
And it's my birthday.
Hey, and it's his birthday.
Oh.
Bud.
Happy birthday! Shut the fuck up.
What? You got before we go any farther, I'm gonna need everybody on this stage to unmute their fucking microphones because you know what time it is. All right, literally,
Let's go.
5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you.
And Bitcoin just hit 100K.
Let's go. That's the best birthday present ever. Let's go.
Hey.
You caused it.
Happy birthday.
Your birthday caused it.
Yeah.
Hey, right there, 10 o'clock. I called it.
Bitcoin did not hit 100K. I would have liked that for your birthday present. I was willing that into the universe, but in fact, the price went down a little bit, down into the 96Ks during the song. So it must have been so terrible.
We're going to zero.
Yeah, that song was so bad that we actually wrecked the price of Bitcoin. Apologies to all of our crypto fans out there. All right, let's get back.
Thank you, guys. That warmed the soul. Thank you so much. Just wanted to say.
Absolutely, brother, man. I'm glad that you came in today. It was very special. I thought we were opening bell was gonna take us to 100K, but I told you, the crypto gods, they don't give you what you want. They give you what they want to give you, and they gave us a little bit more of a dump, which is good. I should like this. Where is Ando at? Wow, man, Ando's hanging tough.
Gotta hop.
Bucko 1.
Jay, best to you. Happy birthday, Will. Appreciate everybody. See you guys soon.
See you, brother. Oh, it's 10:01. Holy shit. I feel like the show's been on for like 10 minutes. Holy cow. Well, they say time flies when you're having fun. Has anybody got anything else? Or it's time to roll, man. I'm not here to keep you past. It would be
Matthew is right. Rich people, it's like my ledger. There's a certain point where it becomes reasonable to get a ledger, right? If you have $1,000 of crypto, maybe you don't want to spend 10% of it to buy a ledger. I get that. It's a really, is it worth it? If you have $100 million in crypto and you have to self-custody it, like, bro, it's going to deter people who want to manage their wealth. And again, financial plan, all of those things, and succession planning, and you need that for maybe not this cycle, but it needs to come at some point, custodial services of some kind where I can feel safe, they can feel safe, they can make a reasonable amount of money, they don't tell me what to do with my money, it's not a government thing, and that will help. Because there comes a certain point where you have so much money that the risk of you getting kidnapped and murdered is just too high. And I would be happy to give away 5% of my $500 million to not have to worry about someone coming to my house to try and take my crypto, because crypto services exist for people like me to have that custodied somewhere else.
Problem is, I get that, But at the end of the day, does it really fucking matter? If a criminal thinks that you've got $100 million, they're coming into your house and they're saying, give it to me. When you be like, oh, it's in the bank. They'll be like, go fuck yourself. Give it to me now.
Right. But criminals right now know about self-custody. If they're coming to take money from me, they know, right? They know that I have crypto or something. Say like it's the joke about like, oh, let's go to Matthew's house, right? If the services exist and people know, just like people know my money isn't here, it's at the bank, they're not going to come rob me for it because they know that I'm not going to have it at my fucking house.
Yeah, he's absolutely right, because it's not about you, it's about your family, right? So if you're rich, you're a target, however you have that wealth, you know, and there's a reason why rich people put their diamonds and their gold and their big stacks of cash in banks, you know. And I think for a future conversation, I'd love to understand this like appeal around decentralization, because when it first started, I thought it was really around like being unattached from the government, being kind of liquid across the world, and maybe for a couple of other reasons. But now that the government is completely involved and they're only going to get more involved, like I don't fundamentally understand what's the value of this desire to be so decentralized. Like I'd be really fucking happy if we woke up tomorrow and Amazon and PayPal and Google and Apple had services for me to use. It made it really, really easy, because then I could go tell everyone I know in my life and they'd sign up tomorrow.
I would say, you know, to some way, shape, or form, decentralization, at least the idea of it and how it was presented. Think of it like the drug dealer that gives you a little bag of Coke for free just to test the product out to get you hooked, or whatever people do to get hooked. You know what I mean? Like it's that. It was just the idea. It's never gonna fucking work. Decentralization is not a real thing, like for real.
That's what I'm saying. So like, I understand why it happened and why it started. I totally get it. I just don't understand why we still want it or push for it. I think
we just want the option is the idea. You want to have the option to be your own bank, but most people will have a custodian.
Yeah.
That's just reality. Especially we're talking the level of wealth building that will come into crypto. We're talking $100 trillion probably. Most people are going to have custodians.
Yeah,
That's
I think,
just
you know,
reality.
so we have talked about this, and I think that's, you know, this is a great conversation to have too about centralized entities like Coinbase, Gemini, all your on-ramps and all that kind of stuff, is how important they are and how great they are, right? It gives people exposure. It lets you come into the ecosystem, and then the people like us who are into DeFi that want to take that next step, that's what it's for, right? Is for, I mean, I'm sorry, let me take a step back here. You've got the centralized entities to have this ecosystem, and then if you want to be your own bank, if you want to self-custody, you want to participate in DeFi, you want to do all that stuff, you can, but you've got to take it upon yourself to go to the next level. And I think that's where we're building the idea of decentralization for just a handful of people, right? It needs to be centralized blockchain in an easier to digest and easier to use, easier to get in, get out, all that stuff. And then the people who are a little bit more curious, or the people who understand the true potential, then you take the next step. But what we're doing is it's like we're building it for the exception. I think most people just want the exposure. They don't want to deal with the bullshit minutia that we all deal with. Anyway, that's a great conversation for another day. I took you guys way too long, so I apologize. Have a wonderful day. It is Thursday, so we'll be back at 4 p.m. And if you've got anything else going on throughout the day, make sure you drop a link so that we can get things posted out. If you got a show, got anything going on, bada boom, bada bing. We'll be back at you at 4. Have a wonderful day. Hopefully we see crypto just absolutely turbocharge up. Bitcoin at 100K, all your bags to the moon. By the end of the day, we'll be looking at Lambos and jets. I remember back in 2019, it was 2019. No, whenever the fuck it was, me and my buddy, he was looking at jets. His crypto bag was so big. We were looking at jets. We had it was over Christmas. I was in Chicago. He was still down in Austin. I was supposed to be coming back to Austin before New Year's, and he was going to buy us Lambos. So we had a dealership appointment. But then something happened where we extended our trip in Chicago. We stayed up there for New Year's and didn't make it back to Austin until like the second week of January. The price had already plummeted. He had lost all his crypto. And so we never got our Lambos. So at the end of the day, take your fucking profits, stick to your plan, make yourself better, and do it, baby. Crypto's here.